not going to waste any time. I'm going to go ahead and go through the disclaimer, and then after that, we can go ahead and get started and go from there. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from the education, you can get to make your own informed decision. Now, understand that trading involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind. And understand that past performance is not indicative for future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you're going to end up making money today. So with that being said, as we go through and get everything else situated, um, this is the first time that I've actually went live in the morning uh, in a while. Um, yeah, today is a special day. Today is actually my oldest son's first birthday. I mean, oldest son's sixth birthday, um, and we're gonna end up enjoying the day and doing everything else like that. But it's also going throughout spring break, so I have a little bit of time to be able to actually take a look at stuff while it's actually happening during the live market. It's 8:30 right now. The forex market is open up. I'm gonna show myself onto the screen for the people that are new that will be watching this live for the first time in a while. One, I want to say thank you for being able to watch in. If you do not know who I am, my name is Travis. I've been trading for the last 6 years professionally. What I end up doing is I use a swing trader's mentality when it comes down to looking at the charts, when it comes down to automation systems and everything else like that. I use a scalping trader's standpoint, but I allow the scalping systems to be able to trade for me when it comes down to that. So I'm going to take a look at I'm going to take a look at the big three in my mind, or really four basic pairs. I look at U.S. United States dollar index. I end up taking a look at oil. I take a look at gold. Then after that, I end up taking a look at cryptocurrency for Bitcoin, and if Ethereum is ready to go, we'll take a look at that. And then also we end up taking a look at the indexes, US 30, Nas 100, anything else that we can be able to get done. We will be done at 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna go through this relatively quickly. If there's pairs that you'd like to be able to take a look at, please do not hesitate to be able to place them onto the chart or onto the comment section so I can be able to take a look at them. Also, let me know if my sound is good. This has been a while since I ended up using this setup, so I just want to make sure everybody's good when it comes down to that. All right, so there we go. Um, Today, what do we have for us overall news? Today, there's really nothing to be able to pay attention to. Remember, we had non-farm payroll last week. What's going on, Block? We had non-farm payroll last week, so it wasn't necessarily that much to be able to pay attention to as a whole. I would like to see what happened last week. Let me see if we can look at the 7th. Start. Okay, so we can go back to start date back at the 7th, and then after that, go to the 14th. Because I want to see what happened in non-farm payroll. Non-farm payroll, the numbers actually negative compared to what it was expected to be. Remember, it was 240,000 jobs that they was expected to be created. There was only 236,000, which is not necessarily surprising during this time because we're in the middle of the month, and obviously taxes and everything else is taken care of, and there's really no need for people getting new jobs. So, with the number being low, it doesn't necessarily surprise me. It's not necessarily a bad thing either. Going into today, obviously today is going to be a trader's day. That means that the chart's going to be more important than what's happening with the overall news. So as we go through and take a look at the big three, it'll kind of give us a better idea about what's happening overall. Block, since you're here, do you want to go ahead and go through you want to go ahead and get through cryptocurrency first? We're going to go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin first. Let's go ahead and get that out the way because this is very simple, relatively simple for me. So I go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin first since I'm already up here. So just a quick backstory. We're in that area where typically Bitcoin prices are in unfair market prices, meaning that from that 25,000 mark to the 29,000 mark, that's when you typically end up having that fast hitting move. And then once that hits, then the market typically consolidates. But the market typically never really stays inside of this 25 to $29,000 area. So it's kind of surprising that if we take a look at what's been happening over the course of the last, let me see how many days this has actually been. Over the course of the last 26 days, the market has been in between 25,000 and 29,000. So it's showing me that the market is ready to be able to make a decision. The question is, what is that decision going to end up being? Obviously, um, we are in a phase where if the market breaks above 29,000, then it's going to go back to where it was, or start being able to move back to where it was from that 2020 all the way to the early portions of 2021 or 2022. when it came down to that movement. Remember, it skyrocketed from 29,000, got all the way up to 65,000. Then after that, made a consolidation move back down to the downside from there. So we're trying to see if if the market's going to wade back inside at this point. If it gets up to 29,000, then I do expect that we should see 40,000 sometime relatively soon. Now, overall, one thing that I do like that I see, even though we are inside of this blue consolidation, we started to make consolidations inside of the actual consolidation. What that means is that we have a very tight wound consolidation right there. We're starting to see a little bit of a flag that's happening right here. The market has already done broken out of this area, but I can see that we have a little bit of a flag right here that's actually being created as well. Um, that is telling me that once some type of news ends up coming out, there will be some type of decision that will be made. Now, typically, when you end up having a consolidation inside of another consolidation, that means to me that you probably might end up seeing that the market may fall because there's not enough people to be able to push this market up for its overall news. So it would not surprise me that this market may reject and kind of go back down toward that $26,000 area. To me, I'm not a trader in this area. This is more of a wait and see type of area. If you are a trader that uses like grid style systems or anything else like that, this would be a great area to be able to get in. But personally, um, I would not necessarily look at being able to make a move off of this one yet. But would like to see what's going to happen. Typically, or what you're going to end up seeing. What's going to end up seeing is probably something like this. Probably a breakout and a retest up here to 29,000. If it pushes up bullish, if it breaks bearish, then it'll fall down here and get all the way down to 27. And then after that, we'll see what the move is going to end up being from there. So right now, it's a no for me on this movement as of yet. We'll take a look at the United States dollar index. I'm pretty sure we're going to see consolidation as well. Actually, we're not. The last couple hours, market has been pushing up towards the upside. Now, the reason why the market has been pushing up towards the upside and it looks like it's done had a little bit of a burst is because, kind of like what we talked about last week, going into the middle portions of February, there was a consolidation portion right here back in January where it turned past resistance into a future support. That future support price is right around 12,750. Gold, yes, I take a look at it. So essentially, what's going to happen is that the market has just made a long get off that trend line. What the market has done is just basically did this retested this overall area once again. And then we see that the market may push up. I believe that the market is overall bullish. There has not been a reason. I'm saying long-term bullish. There has not been a reason to where we could say that this market is not going to respect this purple trend line. You look at this purple trend line that's basically bolted up. That has been the trend where the market has been bouncing off of this area. We're back inside of this area one more time. It failed to support, bounce off of that area, and then start to push back up. So I think that we're basically back inside of consolidation. It wouldn't surprise me if the United States dollar index gets back up to at least 13,000 before being able to possibly being able to make another move just overall. We're in the middle of consolidation again. That means to me, I will probably end up looking to kind of stay away or look to only scalp the market bullish. But the weekly is in the no trade zone. The daily is in the no trade zone, but it's bouncing off of the support. That means to me that we're probably back inside of consolidation. So I'm going to stay away from this one as well. Overall, if I would have caught it a couple of days ago, then I probably might have been okay with it. But this is only a 33% chance of being able to win inside of this area. Let's take a look at oil real quick. Oil is probably going to be pretty simple as well. Oil was in consolidation from $82.50 to $70 a barrel. It's been in that area since the early portions of November 2022. Since then, the market ended up skyrocketing last a couple weeks ago, basically going from $75 to $80 a barrel. And since then, basically hit the top of resistance and starting to slowly form back inside of here. So once again, if you're a grid trading system, then I would look at this being able to trade it as a grid trading system or something that does very well in consolidation. If you're trying to trade this as a continuation type of move, then you're not going to see it, but just not there yet. So the only trades that I would look at is selling from resistance and then getting all the way back to the halfway point, or wait for the market to be able to get back at support at $70 a barrel, then start to look at being able to buy from there. Every other move doesn't make any sense right now at this point. So unless you're doing a consolidation type of move, U.S. oil, stay away. Gold, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Last time we ended up taking a look at gold, just from a holistic standpoint, this is kind of break down because it's been a while since I've talked about gold and the 8:30 hours. Since uh, since the 6:30 hours. The overall support is right around 1700. Overall resistance, long-term resistance at 2070. They end up happening a couple times. Um, what's going on, Leo? Um, what has happened is that the market ended up pushing up towards the top. The overall resistance is at 2070. They end up happening two separate times. It happened the first time when we end up having that big scare in early 2020, when news actually ended up getting started. This was the start of pandemic. This area right here, the second circle, is the start of when the Russian-Ukraine war had ended up starting. And currently, right now, obviously, there's a big scare on what's happening with the overall currency with the United States, and they're actually gaining to be a little bit weak. And we're starting to see that the market is starting to push back up towards that area. I think there's a better chance of the market being more bullish than it would be bearish. And the reason why I'm saying that is because as you look at what's happening with the United States dollar index, you see that both of them are in consolidation. And with both of them being inside of consolidation, that kind of puts a little bit more of a scare on what's happening with the United States dollar index. So I would say that this market is quote unquote bullish. Now, we just left from a triangle. The market ended up breaking out of this triangle, but it has not retested. So like in mind, just keep this in mind always. Anytime that there's a breakout, there will end up being a retest, and then from the retest, there will be an actual move. Currently, right now, we have not seen the actual retest of this move happen yet. We had a slight breakout right here, and then the retest, and then had that pop up. But I don't think that was sufficient enough for enough traders to be able to get in and kind of make his movement. So I'm going to respect what's happening based off of this purple trend line, as long as the market does two things. One, as long as the market does not, as long as the market does not break below the actual triangle or the support of the triangle, then I'm going to consider this to be bullish. And once the market ends up breaking this purple counter trend line with a counter trend line breaking a retest, then after that, I'll be interested in being able to make a move to the upside. But right now, if I'm trying to say if I'm going to make a trade today based off of gold, I would not until it gives me a identifier that is ready to go. I'll be more interested in being able to buy gold if it does pop up to the upside, but I don't know if we're going to see much movement going into today, at least as of yet. We haven't seen that much as of yet, and obviously we're 16 minutes at the beginning of the day. Okay. So went through at this point, went through the United States dollar index. United States dollar index is in consolidation. We went through oil. Oil is still in consolidation. Went through gold. Gold is in consolidation, but I think it has a better chance to be able to move to the upside if we end up getting a strong counter trend line break. But don't rush into that because I think that the market is kind of flat. And we end up taking a look at what's happening with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still in consolidation between 27,500 and 29,000. So we're looking at all of them basically being in the same positions. So there's no reason to rush into a move today just based off of that. Now let's go US 30. Maybe we might see something from the indexes. Hopefully we might see something from the indexes, especially if we're trying to trade. Last time we end up taking a look at this one, this is what happened. I'm going to look at this from a long-term standpoint. Then after that, I'll look at it from where we are inside of this area. From an Ikimoku standpoint, market is still in the middle of consolidation, or back in the middle of consolidation from 32,500 all the way up to 34,300. We're in the middle of that consolidation, so it goes back to what I just said before. We got a 33% chance of being able to win, and we just hit the top of the high volume node when it came down to this pressure. If you're looking at it, here's your high volume node. The biggest rule when it comes down to high volume nodes is that you do not trade inside of them. And the reason why you don't trade inside of them is, once again, you have a lower percentage chance of being able to win inside of that area. Now, with this looking at the Ikimoku cloud and just looking at what is the actual trend, it's pretty clear to see that the market is or was bullish for a point, And now, currently, right now, what we're seeing is that this market is in consolidation and showing signs that it may end up falling to the downside. Now, if it does fall to the downside, um, if it does fall to the downside, then it has a pretty good area where it could fall all the way down to. That was something that we talked about last week, and I'm going to bring that back up in a second. But if you notice, kind of like what I just said before, high volume node, typically you end up seeing consolidation. That remains to be the same since the time that I ended up spotting out this overall strategy. Here goes your consolidation right here from uh, duh, 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 consolidation is going from 33,300 all the way up to the resistance of 33,530. So it's a 200 point consolidation. The market has pushed to the downside, but it has not broken consolidation. So even though we've made this massive type of move to the downside earlier this morning, I still will not jump into it until the market clearly breaks below 33,300. If it falls below 33,300, then I want y'all to be able to pay attention to this movement right here. From here to there, I think that will be the move today, or probably in the next couple of days. Market could fall down from 33,300 all the way down to 32,950. That's a 400 point move. If you're patient enough to allow the market to be able to move, that's something that we end up calling out last week, right here. If I believe to be correct, there it is, right there. That same little pop, the same little opening, was a trade that we end up setting up. The trade just has not happened as of yet. Um, So there's two positions. One, if you just want to get 100 points out of this, we can see that obviously from 33,300 to this little node right here to 33,230, that's 100 points that probably could be guaranteed if you catch it early. The rest of it will be the 400 point move all the way down to 32,950. I still like that move. I just think that it takes a little bit. It's probably going to take a little bit more time to be able to jump in and feel safe with. But everything goes back down to momentum, or we're going to get momentum to be able to make this move going into today. If it doesn't, then then stay away from it. But if it does, then there goes your plan from a downside movement. If it pops to the upside, breaks above that 32,500 area that we just talked about, if we tighten this up, we could be able to say the market could go from 33,600 all the way up to I had a movement up here to 34,100, which was basically the top of the resistance of this previous consolidation that was built up. Remember, the rule always is if you break a resistance, you're going to go to a resistance. If you break a support, you would go to another support. Right now, we're working inside of this large scale range of consolidation. That's why I'm saying that we can't be picky on the moves that we end up making. We have to go after the little gaps that we're seeing. Okay, typing a wire, yes, if that makes sense for the people that are looking at that. Not trying to be too picky, but just trying to go after this little gap of volume that we're seeing inside of here. Okay. So last one, let's take a look at NAS 100. If there's no other pairs that y'all like to be able to take a look at today, we'll kind of go with that. Um, and then after that, I can start celebrating my son's birthday properly. Uh, so NAS 100, there was a move that we were trying to go after last week. The D extension is still out there at 13,940. Um, from a daily standpoint, we're basically in a no trade zone when it comes down to the consolidation. But we did break above the B. That means to me that I'm still quote unquote bullish off of this pair. Um, the B was at 12,882. The market ended up retracing all the way down to the 618, which gives this one a strong ABCD type of movement as long as it continues to move to the upside. Now, once again, non-volume means consolidation, means that the market could give you give you a better chance of being able to get in. This market has already retested this overall consolidation that ended up happening earlier. I just think that there's just not a lot of volume at the starting of the morning to be able to make a move. Uh, we were looking for a consolidation. Looking for a counter trend line break to be able to jump in. That happened 2 days ago, and since then the market has rejected that point again. So currently, right now, there's nothing to be able to do aside from wait. And especially with me saying that I expect that the United States dollar, US 30 was going to end up falling. Um, it wouldn't surprise me if this one falls as well. So I don't like this setup as much as I like US 30 as of right now. So the one pair that I would pay attention to this morning, if I'm looking at any pair to be able to place money in based off of the main pairs that we take a look at, would be what happens with US 30, and is this market going to close below this and be able to have some momentum to be able to go behind it? Okay. That's the pair that I'll be paying attention to more than any other pair. It'll be US 30 today. We'll see how that goes. Now, only way to be able to know if something is coming down the hatch, we need to pay attention. Bond market is overplaying the risk of recession, blah, 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 blah. Tech calls, plunge, hush. Give me a second, Tucker. Um, I'm not seeing anything when it comes down to that. See CNBC. Recession to grow. Keep on seeing stuff about real estate being down. That's something that we expected. Remember, inflation was the word last year. Now it's foreclosures this year. Let's see. Last one. I'll take a look at Cointelegraph. See if there's anything. Last week closed at 10 months. Has to pay for CPI first volatility. Okay, so when CPI data coming out? Typically, that's on Wednesday. Okay. I don't think no major moves are going to happen until Wednesday, everybody. Okay. So we go ahead and log off from here. But if you like what I ended up doing, please make sure you click on that boost button. Obviously, we got one pair to be able to take a look at. It'll be US 30. I don't know if US 30 is going to run out of steam right here. I would almost suspect that it would, uh, especially we know that we got news coming out in the next couple of days. So kind of be patient on this one. So I won't jump the gun on this one. Um, this will probably be less. This probably be a half of a percentage. This market does fall, and I run a trail stop with this one in this case. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I see each and every one of y'all tomorrow. We'll try to do it again at 8:30, and kind of go from there. I kind of like this time. And maybe I might instead of being 8:30, I might end up doing it right around 9 o'clock to 9:30, so we can at least see what's happening with the index market going into tomorrow. But either way, we'll do it during a live session so we can kind of get a better idea about what's happening with trades. Everybody, see you later. Take it easy.